How can you be great? I still remember diving into the first book I ever read from John Maxwell. It was the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and my mind was blown. Not just because it was about leadership, but literally it was an instruction manual for my life, my business, my family, and definitely my health, all trapped in a book labeled leadership. As I dove into the book, a few quotes hit me really hard. I felt like John Maxwell was literally talking to me. He said, change is inevitable. Growth is optional. Growth inside fuels growth outside. And he said that if I really wanted to make an impact in people's lives, I had to realize this next quote, which is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. But there was one quote that stood out among the rest. And it's been the quote from John Maxwell that has changed my life the most. And this has to do with the law of the lid. He said, your leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. The higher the individual's ability to lead, the higher the lid on their potential. But that's not all I took from it. Because this isn't just focused on leadership, it's around every other lid that I had personally placed in my life. So I got to work trying to figure out how does this law of the lid work exactly? And how can I lift the lid in every area of my life so that I can start making a bigger impact, not only in mine and my family's life, but in the world? After I found that answer, I was able to lose 100 pounds, become a better father and husband, climb up the ladder in my career, make more money in our business, retire from my career, so I can go all in as an entrepreneur and keep me lifting my lid and any future challenge that ever comes up. And today, I want to share those answers with you. So if you're ready to dive in and lift the lid on your potential, let's go. It's time to redefine leadership. Welcome to Modern Leadership, where we see things differently. Our channel is all about empowering entrepreneurs like you to achieve the next level of success in business and life. We believe that you can create a massive impact in the world without compromising your personal life or family time to do so.
We're committed to providing you with actionable tips and strategies weekly to make that possible. So if you're ready to become a modern leader and make a lasting difference in the world, consider subscribing. Turn on notifications and dive into our community. We want to thank you for being here because the world needs your leadership now more than ever. Let's go.
As you might see, I'm in a little bit of a different spot here today. My beautiful and highly intelligent co-host is not with us. She's actually not feeling well. However, I do have a list of questions that she's asked me, and I actually haven't even reviewed them yet because I find that she always brings out the best in me to help communicate the messages to you. So let's get started. So John Maxwell says your leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. So Teresa asked me, what does that even mean to you? So what this means to me is that where I am right now is a direct reflection of my level of growth. What this also means is I have to take ownership of wherever I am so I can figure out how to get to wherever I want to be. It's entirely up to me and is based off of my own internal growth and what I'm willing to do to lift my lid and get to my full potential. Like we say on the channel, we believe that what you achieve on the outside is a direct result of who you become on the inside. And when you can take that level of ownership and then ask yourself, how can I truly remove my current lid on my potential? So the next question is, how serious do I take this and why? I really love these challenging questions. I take it extremely serious because the truth is, this is the part of the equation that we can actually control. Any time or energy that we spend wasting on the things that we can't control, how other people are doing, how other people are showing up, overthinking things, self-sabotage, any of that extra time and energy is going to be taken from you. But if you just pour that into lifting your leadership lid, you would have been able to produce many more results and not gotten yourself into the spiral of negative thoughts. How do you know if you have a lid? This is a great question, and I'm going to say that I have a lid in every area of my life. It's just my current level of effectiveness. In order for me to continue to grow, I need to continue to learn, surround myself with the right people, make sure I'm pushing myself on a different level, and never satisfy for just being good. They say that good is the enemy of great, and I truly believe that. So any area of my life, even in an area that I feel like I've made it, that I've succeeded in, I always have to push myself and challenge myself to get better and continuing to lift my lid. Like John Maxwell says, when you stop climbing the mountain, you actually start rolling back down. And so for me, that is something I never want to do. So I constantly put myself in a place where I can continue to grow, continue to get pushed, and continue to show up. So can you give us an example of how this lid was holding you back? All right, so let me share some of the stories. Early on, like even before I started my business, I was trying to get healthy. I was trying to get promoted and make more money in my police officer career. And I was trying to start a family. Even just saying the word trying right now kind of irks me. But the truth was I had a lid on my potential. Not only my potential to helping others, but my potential of being able to lead myself. Now, you guys might have already seen this, but I have a book that I wrote that's called Mastering Your Life Through Self-Coaching. And it talks a lot about the struggles that I personally had while I was trying to juggle all of these things. So my lid on myself was my ability of coaching myself through difficult situations and being able to see something from the outside. As a matter of fact, I kind of feel like I trapped myself in a box saying that just because it's always been done that way, that's how it has to be done in the future. And so while trying to lose weight, trying to make a difference in my career, and trying to start a family, I started to burn myself out. I was putting in so much action and energy, it was just all over the place. It wasn't, hey, how could I do this a little differently so that I didn't have to work so hard? It was more like, how can I 5, 10, 20x the amount of action and energy that I'm putting into this and show up the way that I really wanted to? And the answer was, because I was trapped in thinking I just had to work harder and longer, I actually pulled away from all of those things and ended up sabotaging many of them. Now, of course, this has a positive ending because I was able to learn how to coach myself, how to lead myself, and how to lift my leadership lid. But it's also something that still comes up to today. Things are not perfect. And when things come up, I know it's very easy for me to go down the path of negativity, but I also know this is my trigger that reminds me, hey, Mark, this is your greatest opportunity if you're willing to continue to lift your leadership lid. So what kind of impact has raising your lid made in every area of your life? This is kind of like my universal answer. And that is like anytime I'm up against something, whether it's an obstacle, struggle, including my autoimmune disease, I ask myself, what is this thing trying to teach me? And what skills do I need to develop to not only make me able to overcome this thing, but also to help other humans overcome it too? That's one of the things that really thrives me, not only for helping the world, but also modeling the behavior for my kids so that they don't have to go through many of the struggles that I did. I'm sure they're going to have to anyway, because some of us do need to hit rock bottom. But anytime I possibly can, I want to share my answers not only with you, but with them. Can you give us an example of when you struggle with believing that it was your lid that was holding you back and what you did to reframe that? Oh man, early on, I was Mr. Negative. I was putting myself in a lot of toxic environments and I was kind of taking on the traits of everybody there. Saying that I didn't have time to do anything different. I didn't have money. I didn't have enough energy. I would literally list off everything that I would feel like was a limitation. And what I found out is that when I have limitations and I truly believe them, I get to keep them. Now, this was a very humbling moment when I was 100 pounds overweight, when I was giving it all to my career, and when I was not showing up as the husband that Teresa needed me to be. And then shortly after that, Andrew, my son, was born and had to spend 73 days in the NICU. That was my version of rock bottom because I realized that I wasn't showing up for anybody, but yet my son, who didn't have a choice who his father was, needed me the most, but I couldn't show up because I was so exhausted, so burned out, and had nothing more to give. I feel like getting to that point helped me to realize, Mark, you don't have the answers and you don't know what you don't know. Thankfully, that's the time when I started to read books. I started to get into John Maxwell. I started to dive into many great leaders, their books, their podcasts, and even their videos. And guess what? I was right. I was most definitely holding myself back. But remember, like I said in the beginning, this actually gives us the greatest opportunity to help others get through that thing too. When we see we're holding ourselves back and we find that it's just a lid that we put on our potential, we now have the power to change that. And when we change that, it makes us the perfect person to help other people change it too. So what advice would you have for people wanting to lift their leadership lid? Well, I said it a minute ago. My advice is to pick up books, to listen to podcasts, to subscribe to YouTube channels, to find mentors, coaches, masterminds, people who are going to help you lift your leadership lid. Like John Maxwell says, 1 is too small a number for success or for impact. And the more people that you can connect with that share the same philosophy, the quicker you're going to be able to lift your specific leadership lid. Now, I'm not sure if you know this, but we actually have a business leadership book club where we dive into powerful business and leadership books to help raise each other's lid as a team. If that's something you're interested in, I'll leave you the link inside of the description. It's actually completely free right now. But regardless, connect with a team, a group of people who share similar values and goals that you do, who are willing to call you out when you might push back against your specific lid. Now, I also want to tell you, I appreciate you for being here. Even making it here to this video proves that you're willing to lift your leadership lid. If we can help you, definitely subscribe, check out our inner circle, and we'll see you in the next video. Keep leading from the front, team.